Hi students, I am a geography teacher. In previous video, I broadly discussed about the continental drift theory. So that was the first theory regarding the formation of the mountain, ocean and movement of the continents. In this video, I am going to discuss the one step further, the developed theory that is known as the plate tectonic theory. So let's start. So before starting this video, before starting this theory, we want to discuss about the plate tectonic. Okay, what is plate tectonic? According to the scientist Tuzo Wilson, one of the Japanese scientists, he first pronounced this terminology as the plate. According to him, the earth is composed with the number of layers, number of lithospheric plates. He described that there are 20 plates and 20 minor plate and 6 major plate. That he also described these are the plates which are floating on the astronosphere or the upper layer of the mantle. The Earth's lithosphere or the crust or the upper mantle is divided into the tectonic plates, and these plates are moved on the astronosphere, and we know that that is the movement, and that movement is very slow. Some of you know that is the millimeters per year, some millimeters per year. Okay, so perhaps you can see behind me there are some plates. If you take example that this you can say that this is the plate in the African plate, American plate, okay, then come to the Eurasian plate, then Asian plate, okay, Northern American plate, Southern American plate, Antarctican plate, okay, so these are the major plate, and minor plates, Nazca plate, Philippines plate, Japan plates, so these are the minor plates, and these are always move on the astronosphere or the upper layer of the mantle or the upper mantle. So these are the main plates. If you want to discuss by this theory, so these plates are movement, and these plates are moving, these plates are drifting. So this theory of the plate tectonic, there is a movement can be done, you can say by what the plate boundaries or the plate move from one area to another area. Some plate coming together, so that time it is called the convergent movement. Some plate divert from each other, so that time it is called the divergent plate boundaries. And some plate move side by side, so that time it is called the transform. And from the hotspot, what is hotspot? From where the interior part of from the magma chamber, magma are coming out. Okay, so already we discussed there are 6 major plates and 20 minor plates on the basis of your NCERT book. So this basic 6 major plates, perhaps you know, Antarctican plate, then Indian plates, okay, then Eurasian plate, Asian plates, American plate, African plate, North American and South American plates. So these are the basically 6 major plates. Then come to the tectonic plate boundaries. So tectonic plate boundaries, a boundary of a place where the 2 plates touch each other or they can divert each other. So that's called the plate boundary. There are 3 types of plate boundary. We already discussed the convergent plate boundary, divergent and the transform. Perhaps you can see by this diagram, whatever I have shown in my background, there you can see that these are the lines which are shown in the colors, so that you can see the plate boundary. Okay, so these are the main thing. Okay, so volcanic and the direction of the tectonic plates. So what are the you can see the velocity or you can see the direction. So direction, perhaps you can see here by this, you can see the North American Indian plate, Indian subcontinent plane. There you can see the Indian subcontinent plane, the location before the 120 billion years back, that was near the Madagascar. Slowly time passes and this move toward the northeastern side, northeastward movement, and after that this collided with the Eurasian plate. Okay, in the same case you can say perhaps the arrow, the black arrow can be seen over there, that the movement of the all plates. Okay, and the direction also, the movement or the velocity is very less. You can see the centimeters or 2 to 5 centimeters per annum. Okay, so by this diagram we can understand the direction and the velocity of the all plates. Okay, then come to the plate movement. We already discussed the plate movement. One is divergent. Divergent means when two plates diverge from each other, move away from each other, so that time it is called the divergent plate boundary. When two plates are coming to each other, so that time it is called the convergent plate boundary. Convergent, one plate A and B, these are coming to each other, so that time it is called what? The convergent. But when these plates move side by side in this way, so that time it is called the transform. So basically there are three types of plate boundaries. Number one, perhaps you know, that is the convergent, then the divergent, and then the transform. Here by this diagram I want to show you that how this diagram or the continental globe area, how the plates are movement from each other, or how the plates coming to each other, how the plates transform each other, or so this by this diagram we can easily understand this. Okay, then come to elaborate, if we elaborate this thing. So convergent plane boundary, when two plates collide or move towards each other, and boundary is called the convergent. There are three types of boundaries, perhaps you know, depending on the crust comes together, that the continental and continental, that from the mountain. When one continental boundary and another continental boundary coming to each other, so that time the formation of the mountain occurs. Okay, if you take example of the Himalaya, the formation started before 120 or 80 million years back. Okay, and that time the Indian plates, Indian subcontinent plane and Eurasian plate coming to each other. Eurasian plate is stagnant or still in one position, but the movement of the another plate, that is the Indian subcontinent plane, towards the northeastern side, and sometime there is a sea between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate, and due to this fact, when this coming together, the Himalayan formation of the Himalaya mountain started. And there are some phases, and there are 3 or 4 phases on the basis of that mountain was formed. Then the continental and oceanic, then the subduction zone or the volcanoes can be occurred. Perhaps you know the continent, one of the continental lithospheric plate and the oceanic plate. So these are coming to each other. Perhaps you know that the continental plate is lighter than the oceanic plate. So what happened that time? The oceanic plate comes down, okay, under the continental plate. So what happened? Due to this fact, one zone will be created. So this zone where the you can say the heavier place goes down under the lighter plate, so that time it is called the subduction zone. Okay, due to this fact, what happened? The volcanoes origination, volcanic eruption occurs there. Okay, then another type of you can see the plate movement or the convergence, that is also the oceanic and oceanic, means the one oceanic plate and another oceanic plate, these are coming together. So that time the another type of that the volcano or the subduction zone also occurred. Okay, so what are the subduction zone? Subduction zone is the area where two plates merges and heavier place goes down and the lighter place come up. So this zone is known as the subduction zone. Perhaps in this diagram you can easily see that pictures. Okay, then you can see that what forms of the convergent boundary. Convergent, what type of you can see the ratio or what type of you can see the formation would be there. Continental meet continental. When continental, so that time what can be happen? Mountain ranges form. Continental plate and continental plate come to each other. So that time mountain ranges occurred there. Okay, mountain range formation there. Here by this diagram you can see one continental crust and another continental crust coming to each other, but the lighter one goes up and the heavier one go down. But there is some fold mountain can be occur, and the high plateau. If you take example of the high plateau, that is the Pamir plateau. Okay, which are the southern portion or the northern portion of the peninsula in Himalayan. Okay, so this thing we have to understand. Then you can see what from the convergent boundary. So we already discussed the volcano or the subduction, that is also from volcano occurs when there is a crack will be occurred during time of the convection or the convergent plate boundary. So that time all the magma which are coming south on the earth surface and volcanic arc will be created. If you see the you can say the Pacific Ocean, so that time you can say number of plate boundaries or number of volcanoes are there. So that's why it is called the lighthouse of the Pacific Ocean, means the lighthouse. Why? The all time there is a volcanic eruption, and volcanic eruption ashes are coming out from that area. Okay, so this can happen. Then come to the what the form of the divergent boundary. Two plates boundary, when they are moves away from each other, and on the sea floor at the mid-ocean ridge is called the sea floor spreading. So these are divert from each other. These two plates are divert, move away from each other. So that time it is called the divergent plate boundary. When these two plates are moved from each other, so what happens? Magma coming out. And when the magma coming out, the new landform, means that when magma coming out, the magma after coming, they become cools down and new landform founded. Okay, if you take example of the Iceland, in the middle of the Iceland, you can see there you can say that the two plates are moving away from each other, and due to this fact, new landform already started to form there. Okay, so all the plates move from, and the magma rises out of gap, and the magma, when the cools up, a new ocean floor can be found. Volcanic country of the island. So islands example I already given, that the straddle and the mid-oceanic ridge, and sometimes the natural laboratory or the for studying on the land processes also occurring along the submerged part of the spreading ridge. Iceland is splitting along the spreading center between the North American and Eurasian plates. So that also can be occurred in this regard. Okay, then come to the mid-oceanic ridge. Perhaps you know that the mid-oceanic ridge, where it is located? Located in the Atlantic Ocean. In middle of these are the plates, means the North America and South America plates. These are moving toward the westward, and African plate and European plate move to the eastward. So due to this fact, what happened? One arc has been found, on mid-oceanic ridge has been found, means the magma is coming out there, and that due to this fact, what happened? New landform or new land already developed over there. Okay, so this thing we have to memorize. Continuously, scientists has done number of experience regarding this. They found that you can see the both sides of this mid-oceanic ridge, the age of the rocks are same. So by this evidence, they easily conclude that there is a sea floor spreading. In next video, I am going to start the sea floor spreading also. Okay, then come to the another, that the divergent boundary. What are the divergent boundary? Perhaps you can see the exposure. You can see the land exposure and the mid-Atlantic Sea. So these are the mid-Atlantic Sea. There we can say. So two plates are moving from each other. Perhaps you can see the extrusive melts, means the oceanic floor and oceanic plates. These are divert from each other, and magma coming out, and new landform found. Perhaps you can see behind some pictures I have given. Okay, by this picture, by this diagram, we can easily understand that two plates are diverged from each other. Okay, then another thing, that is what landform you can see the transform. Transform boundary, what is when two plates are moved from side by side. Okay, side by side they are moving, not divert, not converge, they are moving side by side. So two tectonic plates move past one another, and the edges of the ridge you can see the irregular, and they gliding, you can see the green together, jerk, and that's a jerk due to the first earthquake. This kind of activity or this kind of movement we can see in the California. Okay, in California you can say the location of the San Andreas, that's the movement, or the that's the movement towards the, you can see the northern side. Okay, Los Angeles slowly moving to the northern side, whatever the position before the 100 or 1000 years back. Okay, so these are the transform movement. Okay, these are the transform, means when the plates are moving from one another. So this thing we have to memorize. Okay, then here I made you understand that by this diagram, this is Canada, this is United States, and here you can see the Pacific Ocean, and by this you can say some of the fault you can see, and due to this fault you can say there is a plate boundary, transform plate boundary, and due to this fact Los Angeles coming toward the northwest, and San Andreas, that's you can see the San Francisco come toward the southward, because of the movement, because of the transform movement, a transform plate boundary. Okay, so we discussed the plate, we already discussed the plate boundaries, convergent, divergent and transform, but we did not discuss what is the possible causes for movement of the plates. Okay, so now this topic, the last topic we are going to discuss about this. Possible causes, you can say that is the convectional current. So firstly we have to understand what is the convectional current. Perhaps you have seen at your kitchen that your mom is you can say the boiling the water. So boiling the water is a process of the convectional current. Means you can say that if you take a container and keep some water in it and try to burn up this, or keep in the cooker, so that time or keep in the burner, so what happen, slowly the lower portion of the water of the container start to boiling, and this warm water or the hot water goes up and they push to the, you can see, the cold water to downwards, and in this process the whole water or the full water of the container will be, you can see, the heated up, okay, or the warm. So what happen after that, this circulation process is known as the convectional current. Same process applied in the case of the interior art. Okay, perhaps you know that there is a, you can see, the radioactive material between the outer core and the lower mantle. So these are there is a friction between them. Due to this friction of the outer core and, you can see, the lower mantle, what happened on the radioactive heat is generated. So this area means the lower mantle and the upper lower mantle, or you can say the outer core, always get heat or more heater than the, or more heated up than the upper surface or the near the surface of the earth. So what happened when this magma, whatever in the form of that liquid form of the rocks, when that come to this area, so what happened, they get heated up. When this heated up, they goes up, and after that they again go down. And why go down? The more, you can say, the relatively more or relatively or the less and relatively you can say the magma again goes down, and again these forces, you can see, the circulated, and this method is known the convectional cells. Develop a number of convectional cells in the asthenosphere, and this asthenosphere, you can say, the when these convectional cells are developed in the different part of the asthenosphere, that time what happened, these plates, whatever in the liquid solid form on the crust area, that also start to move. It may be the oceanic crust, it may be the continental crust. Okay, so by this process I want to show that how the convectional current develop in a boiling water as well as in the interior part of the earth. Perhaps you can see this diagram. By this diagram I wanted to show all these things, what is going on in the interior part of the earth. So this is all about the, you can say, the plate tectonic theory. Okay, and previous video we already discussed that the continental drift theory, there are some drawbacks, because the Wegener unable to give, you can say, the explanation about the movement of the force or movement of the, you can say, the continent or the oceanic plates. But this time this plate tectonic theory was able to give the movement of the all plates and their cause and their forces which are related to this theory. Okay, so this is all about this is the most modern theory about the formation of the plates, about the formation of the volcanoes, about the formation of the earthquake, okay, whatever, and the ocean also. So this can be, you have to, you can say, see this video, watch this video again and again. Okay, this is for the today only. Thank you for watching this video.